Hello, everybody. It is Wednesday lunchtime, so this means it's the live Q&A. So we've had some brilliant questions in this week, and one in particular came from someone who I'd spoken to in the week who was brand new. We've had a lot of conversations, probably about 70 conversations in the last 8 days with people that want to get fit. And the question I had was, how many times per week should I be doing the classes? So that's a real open-ended question, but I'm going to kind of flip on its head a little bit. I'm going to turn it around slightly and expand on that. And I'm going to turn the question to, how much exercise should I be doing to get a result or to get fit or to lose weight? Because obviously people come to us because they've got goals, whether that's weight loss goal, fat loss goal, fitness goal, whatever that might be. So first of all, what we have to differentiate is activity versus exercise. So activity, and the guidelines for this, by the way, of being more active would be that you should be trying to do regular activity 20 to 30 minutes 5 times per week. And that can actually include things that you don't even consider to be exercise. So this would be activity. So this would be things like walking the dog, hoovering, housework generally, gardening, and things that don't really challenge you too much, but you know at the same time you feel good for doing it. So that's activity, and that should be 20 to 30 minutes 5 times per week. And most people are doing that anyway without even realizing it. So if you are, that's great. But for actual exercise, where you are getting out of your comfort zone and challenging yourself and getting your heart rate up a little bit, you should be aiming for 45 to 60 minutes 3 times per week minimum. Who's that sneaking in? Ollie, hello, mate. All right. Yeah, so 45 to 60 minutes per week would be the target for exercise if you've got an actual goal in mind. So whether you're someone that wants to get fitter, someone that wants to lose a couple of stone or 14, 15 kilos, whatever the goal might be, we should be trying to exercise 3 times per week minimum, okay? But that will also depend on your goals. So it's got to be realistic. I always say to people, whatever you decide to do or start, if you've got a goal in mind, it has to be realistic and it has to be achievable and it has to be enjoyable. If it's those 3 things, the chances are you're actually going to stick to it. But there's different types of exercise you should be doing depending on your goals, which I'm going to kind of list now a little bit. So if your goal is to be fitter and you generally don't mind too much about weights and things like that, which is great, by the way, but if your goal is just to be a fitter person, maybe that's for a sport that you might play, maybe that's for your family, maybe you've got young children that you want to be able to kick a ball with in the garden or run around with down the park, chasing them on their bikes. If you generally just want to be a fitter person, then you need to be doing cardio exercise for around an hour or longer. And cardio exercise is anything from walking, jogging, swimming, cycling, or if you're in a gym, maybe a cross trainer or a spinning class or anything like that, where you're doing prolonged exercise but for a long amount of time. Okay, and it can be quite boring and it can be quite time consuming, and that's why a lot of people don't tend to stick to it for too long, especially people that join gyms, like public gyms, normal big gyms, because they'll go on a cross trainer for 45 minutes because they think that's what they need to be doing to burn fat and lose weight, when actually that's the worst thing you should be doing. And that, we'll come to that in a minute. So depending on your goals, if your goal is to get fitter, then it's going to be long cardio, going for a nice 2 or 3 hour long bike ride at the weekend with the family or with a friend, going out for really long walks, not just a 20-minute lap around the block with the dog, but a long walk, maybe over the Purbex or something where you are generally tired by the end of it. Jogging's ideal, you know, if you've not got bad knees or bad joints. So that's for fitness. If your goal, which is most people that I speak to, by the way, is weight loss or fat loss, believe it or not, you actually need a combination of things. You need a combination of cardio exercise that we've already spoken about, so long walks and things like that. You need high intensity cardio, and this is where it does start to get a bit more challenging, where you might need a bit of motivation. This is where you're better off doing a class, because if you're someone that finds it hard to get motivated to push themselves hard, then the instructor is going to help you with that, and the other people in a class, whether that's an outdoor group session or at the local gym. Again, spinning classes are great, body pump, anything where you've got someone really shouting, loud music, great atmosphere. High intensity cardio exercise is really good for burning body fat. And then we have to add resistance training into the mix. So by resistance training, I mean weights, okay? Now, it doesn't have to be big, scary, bulky barbells and dumbbells and chalk and scary section of the gym weights, but just some light dumbbells and toning and things like that, because your body needs the difference of, or a combination of, cardio exercise to help with the fitness and to get your heart and lungs strong and healthy, especially after the last 12 months that we've had. Really important that you focus on your health and your fitness and the cardiovascular fitness and health of your heart and lungs. That is absolutely vital. And those people that are already fit, that may have had the coronavirus would have reacted or recovered a lot quicker if they had good cardio fitness. So cardio fitness is vital, and we all need good cardio. So you do need to include cardio in any exercise regime or program you do. If it is fat loss and weight loss you need or want, then you have to include resistance training. So that can be circuit training. That can be you using a gym a few times a week. That could be you getting a personal trainer. That could be you getting some dumbbells and doing some things on YouTube from home. You never know, but you have to involve resistance training in your program, in your routine. And that's where people struggle, because a lot of people that join gyms will have an induction when they join, and they'll get shown maybe 5 or 6 different things. And the problem lies when people then go back on their own, because they've been shown 5 or 6 things. So they go in the gym the next day and they do the same 5 or 6 things again. And then they go 2 days later, they do the same 5 or 6 things again, because they haven't got the knowledge or the confidence or the understanding to try the other scary looking things that they've only seen other people using. And that's where you need to get help. You need to get support. You need to have a program written for you, do some research, look what's on the internet. You can get some stuff on there. Or you invest in a coach or a trainer to help you get a plan together, which is what most people do in a gym if they can afford to, for a start. But the goal, or the key here, by the way, if you're including resistance training in your program because your goal is weight loss or fat loss, toning, obviously that plays a part, strength, all those things that we hear about people's goals, resistance training has to be mixed up regularly. It has to be varied. It has to be changed. Otherwise your body gets used to it. It'll become like brushing your teeth. You'll do it without even thinking about it. So the more you can mix it up, the more results you're going to get. We have to shock our bodies regularly in order for them to react and to then get a result. So ideal situation, you should be doing resistance training around 3 times per week. And that could be in a gym or a class or something like that, or at home with dumbbells, YouTube, whatever. You do need to include some slow, long endurance cardio into your regime. So that could be a nice long walk at the weekend with the family or the partner, or a nice long bike ride or a swim, but you have to have that in your regime as well. So that could be once a week, and you need to think, right, I need to get something that's going to really challenge me here cardio wise. And that's got to be something 20 minutes, 30 minutes that's going to really push your heart rate. And that's why an outdoor exercise class is great, or even an indoor exercise class, whether that's with us, whether that's in a gym. They're great because 1, you're being pushed and motivated by an instructor. 2, you've got a bit of atmosphere, a bit of music and a bit of coaching and support. You've got the other people in the class. No one wants to be the worst or the slowest or the laziest or the last one. So they work harder anyway. And you've got someone telling you what to do. And most people that I speak to on a daily basis need someone to tell them and show them what to do in order for them to do it. And whether you do that for a really long time or just a few months to learn the basics, we all need some instruction and coaching from time to time, unless you're already a personal trainer, and then you're very fortunate. And the last thing that you absolutely need in any fitness routine to get you from point A to point B is recovery and stretching and cooling down. And this is where a lot of people tend to pick up injuries, because they go from no exercise to all of a sudden 3 times a week, and they're not stretching properly. You know, we absolutely make sure that we spend a good 5 to 10 minutes with our members at the end of every class doing a real complete cool down. But then maybe the day after you've done a tough workout in the gym with a trainer, down a class, whatever, maybe something like a nice walk or a recovery run. You know, a lot of people do long distance running, will do a big run on the Monday and then a very small 2-3 mile run. And I say small, to some people that's big, but to them who do marathon training, it's not, but a recovery run. And this is the same if your legs are really, really sore. Like I did a leg workout in the studio here yesterday, and my legs, I can barely walk today. I'm walking like John Wayne. So I'm going to go for a light jog today to try and get some blood pump into those muscles again to loosen them up. And I'll stretch probably, I don't know, 4 times a week. I'll spend about 20 minutes stretching. And it's just an app that I've downloaded on my phone that makes me stretch, a bit like a yoga sort of thing. So that is kind of it. But as I summarize this, the one thing I say to absolutely everybody when I get on the phone to somebody is you have to make sure that whatever you pick, whatever you decide to do for your goal to get you from point A to point B for your results, it has to be fun. It has to be changed regularly. It has to be varied. And it has to be enjoyable. If it's all of those things, I guarantee you're going to stick it out. But let me just say this last thing. You have to allow 6 weeks. All right. Our programs that we run are 6 weeks long because it takes your body physically 4 to 6 weeks to start to make a noticeable change. So people that give up on week 1, week 2 because they haven't lost a stone, unfortunately, Rome wasn't built in a day. And what you got to think is some of these people that we speak to have probably spent the last 5, 6, 7, 10, 20 years abusing their bodies, eating and drinking way more than they should be, gaining weight and having health problems that go along with that, type 2 diabetes and All these things are related to bad diet, which we all know we need to address, but it takes time to undo that bad work that you've done to your body. So give it time. Like 4 to 6 weeks is what you should be aiming for to commit to any program. So when you join a gym, or if you join a gym when they reopen, or you wait till September, or you wait till the new year like most people do, and you sign up to a year's membership at a gym and get tied in, give it 6 weeks, okay? Your friends and family might notice it on you before that, because they'll notice maybe you're less bloated, you'll be radiating confidence, and you'll definitely feel better in yourself. But you need to allow yourself 4 to 6 weeks to see a physical change. And that could be on the scales, which, by the way, we're not a big fan of, but more so your shape change and your clothes, okay? Best thing you could possibly do to see your results: measurements. So get a tape measure. Can't find mine, but you know what a tape measure is, and measure certain areas of your body, around the arms, around the chest, around the shoulders and back, just under the bust or the waist, the tummy, so around the belly button, around your bum, around your legs. There's about 9 different areas of your body you could measure. And within 3 to 4 weeks, you'll notice those inches starting to come down. The mirror won't show you that. And that's where people get disheartened and deflated, because they go from no exercise to exercising regularly. They get back on the scales 1 or 2 weeks later, and they've not noticed a single pound drop. And that's, by the way, another subject about why that wouldn't actually happen that quickly. Water retention, things like that. Completely normal that actually sometimes the scales don't change for 4 to 6 weeks. So find something you enjoy, stick it out, aim for 3 times a week, whatever it is you're doing. Chuck in a mixture of things: slow endurance, long cardio, walk, cycling, swimming, and that sort of thing. High intensity a couple times a week to really challenge you and get your heart rate up, and resistance training, especially anyone over 30 to 40 years old, and especially even more so with women, unfortunately. Resistance training, the benefits of adding weight training into your program go up 100-fold. So include resistance training in your program, and really important, stretching. So I hope that's been a helpful video for you guys, and I'll leave you there, and enjoy the rest of your week. And if you need anything, any advice, anytime, please feel free to get in touch and ask away. Take care, guys. All the best.